And so what that left me with was this huge wound, probably about that size, because they had to remove the skin. The wound had to heal, and the wound vac is designed to help it heal faster, a lot faster than it healing on its own. I was eventually sent home after a couple of days with, again, this wound vac, this machine attached to my body that they gave me this not so stylish satchel to carry it around in. And I went from having about 6 drains to now I have 4 drains, and they're in completely new spots. I'll get to that in a minute though. But had to come home with this new machine, and the guesstimate was that I would be on the machine for a month. So not only am I seeing my surgeon weekly, but I have a nurse again coming out to see me 3 times a week. And so that's why I'm being held hostage in Kansas City right now. Can't come home until the machine is off, my wound is healed, and my drains are out. And so I thought this was going to be, just again, that slow and steady process. And then another complication happened where I was starting to feel, I was extremely dehydrated, because what they explained to me is that my body was essentially like a running faucet where fluid is just constantly coming out of the body. And so I didn't do a great job of making sure I was replenishing that fluid. I suck at drinking water. I can admit it. Okay, I got my cup now because I don't want to feel it again. And so severely dehydrated. And then my dehydration started to feel like other symptoms. Like I was experiencing flu-like symptoms, COVID-like symptoms, body aches, chills, night sweats, and just lack of appetite. I didn't want to eat anything. And I was like, okay. And this is after I had got my hydration back on track, because your girl was waking up every hour in the middle of the night to pee. Okay, so I was definitely hydrated, and I again was feeling good, and then I started to not feel so good anymore. Again, COVID-like symptoms, all those things that I said, on top of a fever. And so when I communicated this to my team at KU Med, they were like, okay, we need you to come in here. And so they did some testing and found out that I had an infection. Next steps for that included me going to the OR the very next day. And what they did during that surgery was that let me back up. She said there were a couple of things that may happen. They may go in there, get everything clean, and put me on a new antibiotic, and things will be great. Or they'll go in and see that there's a lot more cleaning that needs to be done, stuff may be taken out, all of those things. And so when I woke up from that surgery, of course, I had the worst possible scenario happen, where they had to empty my breast of the saline, and they had to completely remove my expander. So this side right now is just completely flat, like that first option that my mom chose that I talked about earlier. Completely flat, completely deflated. And they had to do that because the infection was that bad. They had to go in there, they had to clean up everything and just take it out. And they are not going to do anything to this breast until this wound heals. Now, next steps for my girls, right? I can anticipate 2 surgeries happening in the near future. One is after this wound heals, they're going to do a skin graft, and they said they usually take something from the hip or something like that, but put skin over it, and that'll just be how that goes. So that'll be one surgery. I also have to get this breast back, or put something back in the pillowcase, right? And before I was considering, sure, take my thighs, that's great. But now I'm like, how does that work? Do you just take fat from one side and put it, like, what's gonna be, how the other side gonna be? And after everything that's happened, I'm just ready to be done. So I was like, I am considering just put an implant in there. Okay, just do it, because I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't. So I haven't made this decision about that yet, because I'm trying not to be driven by just pure and utter just annoyance and frustration, and let my emotions say enough without considering what is in my best interest health-wise. But those are my options for this side. Either getting it, stuffed with the fat and skin from my thighs, or getting an implant. And right now, that's where I currently stand. There is also a revision, what they call a revision surgery, at the very end that kind of just ties you up in a pretty bow all together, cuts up all the loose ends, ties up all the strings, cross the T's, dot the I's, right? Apparently, there's a little lipo involved, so I'm looking forward to that so that everything can just be smooth, and that's kind of where I've been. A lot of up and down, a lot of things making me feel like my life is completely out of my hands right now. I feel like I'm sort of in this limbo, pause on life type area while everything around me is still moving, life is still going for other people. And I see my family on the weekends. They come and visit me, and then they leave on Sunday to go back to work and to go back to school, right? And so that's been a challenge, being separated from my family. I'm not used to this. I'm one of those parents where my kids get on my damn nerves, but I love my family and I love being around them. And so just little things has really taken a big toll, I would say, in that area. But I'm trying to be better about not having as many pity parties, and I have people in my corner who remind me of who I am and the strength that I have, and so that's been encouraging. I love hearing the words of encouragement. I really do. I don't think you all know how much it inspires me, and it uplifts me, and just reignites some hope within me that this just isn't the shittiest situation ever, and that there is another side to this. And so now the only thing that I can really feel about this situation is gratitude. And I say that because there is so much that I have learned about myself, and there are so many things that I want to share. It's really the catalyst for me being so driven to put out content that centers around mental health and centers around increased self-awareness and accountability things, and just wanting to pay the knowledge forward so that it makes the process a bit easier for someone who's going through a similar struggle, because again, Mark Munson teaches us that you ain't special. Okay, there's somebody out there that's going through something very similar, and it would be a disservice if you have then overcame something or grew through something or learned something through your experience and not pay that information forward. You gotta give people the keys sometimes, right? Not everybody has the resources, not everybody has the insight, and so that's what the purpose of these upcoming episodes and series that I'm going to be putting out, and this content I'm going to be putting out is really centered around that, and just again paying that information forward, the things that I've discovered on my journey, because as you can imagine, this has propelled me into a lot of solitude. I have a lot of time with myself. I'm binge watching TV shows, I'm journaling, I'm reading, and I'm trying to make the most of this recovery. And let's not forget, I'm doing this all mama free. I'm trying to be better about it. And so again, I thank you for the support. I thank you for the words of encouragement. And hopefully this has answered all of the questions that I'm getting. I know it's my decision to put my story out into the world. And so of course we have questions. And so I felt like this would be the easiest way, right, to get those things answered. And if you have more questions, please know that I am so open to discussing things. I am so open to answering any questions, or just I just want to be nosy and find this out, friend. Can you tell me more about this? I got you. And so again, I just thank you all. I just thank you all again for the support and for the encouragement. It goes a long way, and you never really know who you're impacting. And so hopefully this story can impact someone else that is going through some things, to just remember what you have, remember what you're in control of, and just be grateful for what you'll learn and for the knowledge you'll be able to pay forward to your own children and own your own friends and your own people, and knowing that eventually you're going to help make someone's life better. And that's the point, right? Is to be of support and to be of help to others. At least that's what my passion is. I can't speak for other people. And so again, if you have questions, let me know. If not, then just be looking out for these new episodes I'm going to be putting out. Okay, I'm not sure what platforms I'm going to be using. I know YouTube is the first one. That's the one that I'm starting on. And so if ever I share a video on here that has a YouTube link for an episode, go and watch it. Go and support your girl, because I promise you, you gonna want this tea. Okay, because I am not censoring myself. And my stories and the things that I talk about on my platform are going to extend from my experience in childhood to all the way present day. Okay, and so I'm going to talk about my experiences, at Ruskin, at Smith Hill, in my household, with my family, with partners and relationships, my issues with the military, being a black woman in the military, being a mom in the military, being a college student, going to a university where you experience racism, having, any type of history with child molestation, sexual abuse, or anything in regards to that. I'm not going to sugarcoat. And so if you can't handle the tea, don't watch, friend. Okay, because you don't know what you're going to hear if you knew me during those experiences. But either way, I hope that you watch, because again, those who need it gonna receive it, and that's all that I can do. I know that there is somebody out there that needs to hear the things that I have to say, and if I can just impact that one person, then I've done what I needed to do. Now, I am what we call in the helping business a wounded healer, meaning I walk it like I talk it, because I've been there, and there's a lot of value to being experienced in experiences. There's a lot that your girl has been through, things that nobody even knows, right? And so this is therapy for me too. And so I just wanted to be transparent about that. Now, how I'm gonna be closing out episodes, videos is gonna be real corny, real cheesy, real goofball, because that's me as a person, right? Anybody who know me know that about me. But I was a Martin girl. I grew up in the 90s, okay? Martin was my show. I love Gina, but Pam was my girl, okay? I was Team Pam all the way. And there was something that she used, that bass, right? That's how I love that. I loved it every time. And so at the end of my videos, you're going to hear me say, happy healing, friend. And I say happy healing because healing is a progressive thing. It is a continuous thing. And so we just have to start embracing that, right? And just Godspeed on your journey, because healing is not pleasant. So I always say happy healing, friend. Peace, right? For the culture.